So what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jamal. I'm back, and today we're gonna talk about algae. I know. I said that I was gonna show the tank, show the livestock, and things of that nature, but I can't do that because I had a big tank mess up, and it was all my fault. I had a product malfunction, not really malfunction, just my lack of knowledge of the product, and it turned out to be a big deal with algae. Essentially, it was just my lights, and I'm gonna break down what happened. So as you can see, there's algae growing all over the sand bed, and it got a lot worse, but this is just the beginning of it. And there's also some green, like a green hue that's showing up on my rocks. Now for people who don't know what that green hue is, normally your rocks take the color of the condition of your tank for the last month, or the condition of your tank for the last few weeks. So green normally means high phosphates. I learned that just by trial and error in my 40-gallon breeder. I saw that when my phosphates were high, my rock was green. When my phosphates and nitrates were low, my rock had coralline algae, or some sort of good look to it. It was like a brown, but it wasn't really an algae, if that makes sense. I also got a lot of algae that grew all over the glass, which was crazy because I clean the glass like once every 4 days normally, and now I had to clean it once a day because the glass got crazy dirty. And I hate when the tank looks like that because we're not in the hobby for an ugly tank. You want to enjoy everything inside of your scape. Another thing that bothered me with the algae wasn't so much that it was growing everywhere, it was the fact that I didn't prepare myself for an algae outbreak by having things that eat tremendous amount of algae. I may have 4 or 5 snails in here and maybe about 3 hermit crabs total, maybe 2. I think there's only 2 hermit crabs total, and that didn't contribute to it or help at all. So as you can see, this is a clip of Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's Live Free Reef on Instagram. I pretty much post everything on there before it gets here on YouTube if you want to see what's going on with the tank. But the lights that I have right there, I put 2 of those Viper Spectras, and they were running at 70, 25, 70 blue and 25 white. Now, when I first started the tank, I had one of those in 2 Kessels, and that was perfect, the 70-25. But with 2 of them, it was just too powerful. You can see algae on the rock is growing thicker. I have nothing to eat the algae. Corals are closed up. And the worst part about it, I burnt my rainbow millie, and it pissed me off. Another thing that I did was my Cheddar reactor. It grew all the way to the top. I pruned it back, but I think I pruned too much. If I had to give advice on pruning a Cheddar reactor, I would say definitely take out 1/3, but less than half of whatever your Cheddar growth was. Simply because if you take out too much, it's going to take too long for that to grow back. And that's just in my experience. I'm not saying that it may be better for others, it may work better for others, but for me specifically, it didn't work. So then it went on to coming up with a new plan to figure out how I was going to attack this. And I decided to do one thing that was kind of drastic, but I think it kind of helped in the end. So what I decided to do was a 72-hour blackout, and I also changed my lights back to the original lighting that I had. In the next video, I'll show you guys exactly what lighting I got going on and how I'm going to either ramp it up, keep it the way it is. One thing that I can say is that this 72-hour blackout isn't for the faint of heart. You're sitting there waiting and waiting for the thing to clear up, and it's really annoying. Lastly, I want to say that if you do end up having to get to this point, or to the point where you got to take the rocks out and scrub all the algae off, don't be defeated by it, because once you do that, it just gives you a chance to start over. For me, I'm just upset because I know the cleanup crew that I need and the fish that you need to implement in order for your reef tank to be successful. If you don't want to do daily maintenance like scrubbing the sand bed or water changes all the time, I know the cleanup crew that I need. And in the next video, I'm going to show you guys what I have in the tank, because by then I'm definitely going to have the cleanup crew put in place so that if anything like this happens again, I can defeat it and my tank will always be clear and clean the way that I like it. So if this was interesting to you, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe so I can see you in the next video, and I hope to see you guys in the comments real soon.